Hello everyone and welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show, coming at you live on Friday night. Tonight's your host, James Bay.
Help for my laptop to just, when I'm charging it and stuff, I'm just like, it's like, and when I charge it, it's when I'm recording it just feels like it slows down the momentum and stuff. And that kind of thing. Oh wait, I just realized I hit the record button and I was just talking about some charging my laptop. So welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show. Yeah, there's a bit of a, you just kind of just jumped straight into it there, but welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show for another episode. We're back on the grind, and we have a very special guest to join us because I think we need someone to at least speak for a little bit too. He's not been on since February, March, something like that, and the last time he was on the show he had COVID or something, so you can already imagine the quality of that episode, how the quality of that episode was. So hello Phoenix, hopefully this doesn't freeze again. Hello,
what's up people? And yeah, our last episode together was pretty dog shit, mainly because I had COVID and my mic was like, it was half broken, alright? It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, definitely a lot of issues right there in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this was like, this was like a year ago almost, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it still really isn't a professional show anyway. To be honest, it's not.
Yeah, we kind of just here to mess around, right?
Yes, but we're not gonna be We're not gonna be talking about this show again. We could say that for a special episode coming up. But with that out of the way and stuff, So how have you been since? Because we haven't heard your voice in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been pretty normal, eh? I mean, I'm just glad that COVID shit's over. Like, COVID in this country is basically non-existent at this point.
Well, we can't say that, Phoenix. It's a conspiracy.
Oh, it's a conspiracy. Nah, bro. Did you know that COVID was made in a lab and is actually meant to, it's like a tool to spy on us?
That's a hot take right there. That's an absolute hot take right there.
I'm bringing a hot take to the James Ramblin'. No, I'm just kidding. That's fucking retarded.
Yeah. I mean, I did that hot take. That hot take show wasn't even a hot take show, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That I just kind of messed around, just made whatever.
That was
a bit of experiment.
Yeah, that was.
Anyways, we kind of just turned on the camera and let it happen. I guess it's naturally talking. So there are a few things that we can talk about here, and we definitely could talk about a few things, but that the thing is, this is stuff like I don't really try and make this whole thing about one particular thing all the time. Just kind of jump around and stuff. Yeah. So really we can start anywhere you want. That we don't really need to. Feels like the intro is going on forever, but we'll just start wherever really. So, but yeah.
Talk about music, because you've got yourself a hot take on death metal, don't you, boy?
Oh yeah, definitely could start there. Sorry if we kind of just started rolling and then it just sort of went all over the place, but doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, let's get into the deep conversation already, James.
Yeah. So yeah, death metal, was it death metal?
Yeah, death metal.
Yeah, basically, death metal, I don't really like it, but the thing was I said that death metal isn't music. Just kind of a silly claim because, music is music. It's just that I didn't really like it, and that's kind of all you need to know there. It's not deep, not something you can spend 5 minutes talking about. It's just it takes 30 odd seconds just to roll that out your tongue, I guess.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm not hating on your take on death metal. I mean, it's a pretty distinct taste. I mean, not many people will like it. I mean, that's been said 1,000 times. Though.
Yeah, but I hear like the metal community is quite toxic. Is that right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, it seems like a very toxic fan base. But like but like a lot of music fan bases seem to be on this notion that if you listen to a new song as your first song, it's like the worst thing ever, and if you don't listen to the first album an artist or a band made, it's you're insane, and it's just all that stuff. And it feels like we've talked about music 5 times on this show, but really there
yeah.
is like quite a few people that I know that like music, so I can't really do anything about that at this point.
I mean, music is music. Everyone likes music, right? I mean, it's hard to find someone who doesn't.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of
But like,
uh,
yeah, the whole fucking elitist shit on metal is really annoying. I mean, I hate people who gatekeep this kind of shit. Like, there was an example with Metallica and Stranger Things. People found Metallica through that show, and
yeah.
previous Metallica fans were just pissed.
Yeah, I mean, like that whole thing about Stranger Things, like it does have a metal guy in the metal artist in this show, but like and
Yeah,
it has the metal song, but I tried to stay away from that because I did actually like that show, so like there's nothing else to say there.
yeah. I mean, if you
Oh
ever
wait,
watched it, but
actually,
it's
oh
not
wait, sorry.
good.
I think you watched didn't you watch Breaking Bad or something like that? Like if we're talking about
Oh
shows.
yeah, I watched that shit. That shit was amazing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on I never mentioned this because I kind of just wanted to get into like the main stuff last time, but I did watch Nobody on the Plane, which features a character from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And
Yeah, Saul
basically,
Goodman.
that movie is basically if if Bob Odenkirk was John Wick, but it was like a completely different person, and it was like nothing to do with John Wick because it's definitely like John Wick because John Wick bet up these guys with pencils and not even like a knife, like a gun. But like the thing is with Nobody is that he does use guns, but like it's not like it's like towards the end of the movie I think, and he just uses like his fists, and there's this one scene where
Yeah.
he fights these guys in a bus, and it was really good, but he just like used his surroundings, so I think it's quite good. Like I think more action movies should start doing that, because if I'm being honest, right, like guns are quite a repetitive thing in action movies. So like, why don't you just use the environment? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, I watched that scene. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen that scene, and I gotta appreciate how realistic it is. Like in other action movies, the hero just beats up the guys like it's nothing, and he has no scrapes. He's fine, and he just moves on with his day. But in that
Yeah,
scene, you can see that the character of Nobody, Bob Odenkirk, he got his ass beat too.
yeah. His name is actually Nobody, but he does that because like it's actually quite clever because he doesn't really reveal his name till like towards the end of the movie. It's not really a spoiler because the thing is, right, I say that a lot, but for some reason, right, the way that movie was structured kind of reminded me of Quentin Tarantino, where it actually started off with a scene that's all the way like it's all the way just like it's towards the end, and he's with the cops and stuff. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But then it sort of brings into context what all of that situation is. And today I watched Pulp Fiction, and basically there was this random scene where they were robbing this like place, and then towards as the movie goes on, it leads up to that, and then it finishes off. And I don't know if like there are a few movies that do that, but Quentin Tarantino is quite a master at that. It seems where he'll take a random situation and he'll make it into an entire movie that makes so much sense towards the end, which makes it feel like you shouldn't really watch the trailer. But we were gonna talk about Breaking Bad, and then I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean Quentin Tarantino, he's pretty infamous for having, grade A fucking dialogue in his movies.
Yeah, I mean, he made like this, like in Reservoir Dogs, right? The first, like, I want to say 10, 15 sort of minutes is like just a bunch of guys talking at a table, and it's like, you know, not a lot of direct. I don't know, but there's directors that do that, but like, not in a lot of movies you see that where you'll just have these guys sitting at a table, and it's so interesting.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah, but like, the whole thing, that whole part of the movie was like essential as well. Pretty sure because they were gonna rob a bank and whatnot.
Oh yeah, well, I think I recognize that. Like they're at like a diner, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then fuck, what happened? Was it a woman or like a man? They pull out a gun or something?
yeah, something like that. But like that
Yeah, I've
was,
seen something like that.
but like the thing is, like you have the end credits at the start of the movie, like you have these end credit feels like oh the movie's ended, but really it's just using that technique of like oh the movie's ended, but we're gonna use the ending as the beginning to make the middle and the end to make the introduction and everything make more sense. So you just use a certain part of the movie to make the whole movie make sense.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing that's what Quentin Tarantino does, right?
Yeah, but yeah, Breaking Bad. I've not really seen that show, but it does seem. See, I've seen like pieces of it, and I've only really seen the memes for that. But it seems like a really interesting show. It seems.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never really heard of these kind of things. I mean, I've only really watched Breaking Bad and a bit of what's a show called The Boys? That's a really good show.
Oh yeah, The Boys.
That's an amazing show. Go watch that shit right now. But I love that movie because like the characters are just so well written. Like the dialogue is just so good in that fucking show.
Oh yeah.
Bully. What's his name? Billy Butcher.
What is this in Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
Oh, I've got no idea. I've not seen the show. That's kind of
you should watch it, James. Good shit.
if I had any. I mean, I do have time, but like I kind of put things off sometimes, so I don't really watch things. I do have a really bad habit where I just like when I watch like 5 seasons of a show and then I start a new show. Like I can't help that sometimes. I can't help it.
Yeah, I mean, like some shows they just can't they can't like hook you in for the entire time. They may have one or two seasons where it's kind of like just boring.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Game of Thrones and stuff, but like I put that off. Like I watched because I think I binged like a couple seasons in a couple weeks, something like that. Because I was just watching it constantly. But I think we're getting rid of Neon soon because like the prices are getting higher on Neon, so we're gonna kind of like scrap
Oh
that.
yeah, it's like 20 a month or something.
Yeah, this thing is like like some streaming services like make you pay so much money to to watch these things, whereas you should watch this on a website like your website and stuff.
Yeah, mate, be a fucking mate. You guys got to be like me, be a cheapskate. Look up a free website and watch through there, because I ain't paying for no subscriptions, man.
Yeah, I mean it's a really crazy thing, I don't. There are people that like to pirate things, and people don't like to pirate things.
I mean, I guess it kind of depends, like, if the company that made the film or the video game are just like massive scumbags, like EA, for example, I'll probably pirate their game. But if it's a good developer that generally deserves the money, I will pay for it. No questions asked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah, same goes for movies. Pretty much everything.
yeah. I mean, you're not real like. You seem to be more into video games than like movies. It seems from our
Yeah,
conversations we've had
I
in the
like
past.
video games leagues more than movies and TV shows. I mean, I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean it's fine to be honest. We all like different things, so we can't really change that.
Well, of course, if everyone was like the same stuff, it would just be freaking boring, right?
Of course, it would be. Right, that
Yeah.
it just goes back to that whole thing about death metal and stuff, where you'll have you'll just have people that they don't like death metal, and then they, that it's the subjectivity, I guess you could throw in there.
Yeah, I mean, but like death metal's kind of different. Like, it's not. It's really like unique taste. Like, your average Bill, Joe, and Sonny ain't gonna be into it straight away. I mean,
Yeah,
it really just yeah. It's not. What do you call like when something's like catered toward the masses, like the general population?
yeah, the general uh the general audience.
Yeah, like I tell you, like if I don't know, Cannibal Corpse, Icon Blood started playing on the pop radio where everyone listens to it, it would not go well.
Yeah, that song is weirdly,
That song's weird.
yeah, but that's
And I
the
feel like it's edgy for the sake of being fucking edgy.
yeah. But I think like we forgot to mention like Iron Maiden is like a really good metal band. We kind of we just had an actual conversation, but I think Iron Maiden's quite good. Seems like a really good band.
Yeah, Iron Maiden is like it's real good. I mean, I'm shocked that they've managed to carry their legacy and their art of music for like how long? Like since the mid 70s, so a good 50 years at this point, and they've
Yeah,
never really fallen off the wagon either.
yeah. You'd think with old age it would get like it would kind of suck.
Yeah, exactly. And like every time Iron Maiden always brings out something creative and different. Like there's no
Uh,
two albums that sound exactly the same.
do you like any of like Ozzy Osbourne's modern music? Because I think he's like an old, talking about old people and stuff like that, like making music. What do you think of Ozzy Osbourne's like modern music? I think he had like an album, and like Elton John was on it and stuff. You ever heard about
Well,
that?
I'm gonna be real with you. I've never been into Ozzy Osbourne or Elton John or any of those kind of artists. I mean, I've never found interest in their music. I mean, what's that one song? The Crazy Train from what's his
Yeah,
name? Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not gonna lie, I was never into it, so I never bothered checking out his new album. I didn't even know he had a new album,
I
so I
did.
really got no comment.
I did. That was the
Yeah,
year.
I really got.
I had a phase where I freaking like listened to whatever, really. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
Well, I did like it. I did actually like it,
Yeah,
but you could just tell that, it feels like mumble metal, if I'm being honest. Like, it felt like, oh yeah, it's a bit catchy, but really, this guy has been on like, he still does drugs, and like, so like, because he's done on drugs, it's like messed up his voice and stuff, so you barely can even hear what he's trying to say.
oh yeah, that's a pretty sad reality, a very common and sad reality in the music industry, especially towards like rappers and metal artists. Like a lot of drugs and alcoholism just runs into their it runs into their lives and it can affect their music.
Yeah, certainly can, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's like I don't know, like metal rap artists and even maybe some pop. They just a lot of them have like a lot of them base their music off their experiences and experiences in life
Yeah,
and like how hard it was, their depression, etc.
yeah, that's kind of what they do. But like there are
Yeah,
artists that there's artists that say that they base their life experience off of this stuff, but really no, it's not really like that.
yeah, pretty much.
It's like you'll have these artists that say, "Oh, I did this and that and this and that," but you can make up stuff as well. There's like tons of like story ones where they just make up it's different stories and they turn it into a song and it's not real. It's just made up,
Oh yeah.
or they just convince you that they live this way just to get you hooked on the song or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got to keep your like audience interested in you, and if you have to lie about it, then I mean, so be it. I mean, you got to keep your music. You got to keep your business. That's understandable.
Yeah, but after a while, it just kind of feels a bit douchey, if I'm being honest.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty douchey. But like, honestly, if you make good music and you continue to make good music, I honestly won't don't care about what you say online. You know.
Yeah, I mean, going off of that, like there are artists that do say like controversial things, but if you put that to the side, you can actually try and enjoy it. But here's the thing: the whole separate, what's that saying called? Separate the art from the artist, or something like that.
But yeah, I've never can't say I recall anything like that, but there's probably something like that out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would have heard of that, where you try to separate the art from the artist, but you can't because of the way they act in real life. Like there is
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
give an example. Right, there is like what's his name? Was it his name's like Chris Brown or R. Kelly, where they are absolutely terrible human beings that they do bad
Marilyn
things to
Manson.
women. But they do bad things to women. But when you listen to their music, you try to forget that. But there's some people
Yeah.
that because of that they can't listen to the music, which is understandable.
Yeah. I mean, there's more like. I don't know if it's true, but I have heard he has raped, sexually assaulted a few women.
Well, R. Kelly's doing time for 40 years or something like that currently.
Ah, Kelly, I can't say I've heard of him, but I've never listened to his music, to be
Alright,
honest.
I mean, like, if we go, like, there's Chris Brown I mentioned as well. I mean, I listened to, like, one of his songs, but, like, he's kind of overrated, if I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like, everyone's saying, oh, Chris Brown this, Chris Brown that, but really, it is just generic R&B. Honestly, it's just generic R&B to me. Like, yeah, no. He's
It's
overrated.
generic R&B.
Yeah, he's overrated, in my opinion. Hot.
Yeah,
You probably don't really know much about Chris Brown or anything because you're not really into that stuff.
nah, I'm not into R&B. I
Yeah,
mean,
there is.
there is-
Mm, sorry, but there are actually that. If we're going to talk about those, like there is another controversial artist, but really right now I can't really be bothered bringing that stuff up because I don't really like to do that.
that's fair enough.
We were. He will be unnamed, but if you know who I'm talking about, there was a recent controversy with that guy. Yeah, we're not bringing that up. That is a very, very bad subject indeed, so not bringing that up.
Alright, I guess we shall keep that concealed then.
Yeah, we somehow went from that. Whatever. What else is there? Like, there is quite a few things to discuss with someone like you. I guess there's like like a very.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could talk about some, like, video games and that Callisto Protocol shit that went down today.
Oh yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll be like a week after that. But there was this whole thing about Callisto Project or whatever, and
Protocol, yeah.
not Project Protocol, yeah. But yeah, that whole thing, it's like getting really bad reviews. But did you even mention God of War Ragnarok while we were talking?
I have not mentioned God of War Ragnarok yet. Shit.
No, it's alright. What is your thoughts on the game? Seems like you really liked that game, don't you?
God of War Ragnarok,
Yeah.
it's awesome. I mean, like, it's a great progression from God of War 2016. Even though the gameplay is pretty much the same, I mean, the writing and the story is a bit better in my opinion. And
Uh,
there are a few cliches about it, like, I mean, the level design ain't really that extensive. It's more or less just run there, do this, run back. There's one path there you can explore. There's nothing too like exciting, but I did like how they switched up the environments a bit. Like, there's a jungle, there's like a little hilly fjord area. It's pretty interesting. I'd say go play God of War Ragnarok. It's a really good game.
Yeah, really don't really have that much to say about it because I've never played God of War Ragnarok. Um,
Oh
let
yeah,
alone
James has an Xbox, so he can't really play.
yeah,
But it's good.
let alone God of War as a franchise itself. So, but there was that controversy about that game, but that really kind of misled the whole thing about how because the whole thing about how it was actually going to be because of some sort of like change in like some sort of like quote unquote radical change in
Oh,
th-
yeah,
Norse
I know what you're
mythology.
talking about.
Ironically, radical change because of but here's the thing, right? You can say that, but wasn't there like black people during like those ages? Wasn't there? Wasn't that a thing?
Well, I guess you could say that was a thing. Like, the Norse did trade with a lot of people. They may have gotten some African slaves, but like the thing is, it's a part of the mythology. So
Yeah, the
this
mythology.
character,
It's not
yeah, Angrboda,
realistic.
she is portrayed as like a darker skinned person, but honestly, I don't really care that she's darker skinned. I still like her character. I still think she's cool. It doesn't really bother me.
Oh yeah, you did actually find this very epic rant video about this game.
Oh no,
Well, maybe
yeah,
not
isn't that
epic.
Synthetic Man?
Um, explain it because maybe people out there who have no idea what this is.
I'm guessing the rant you're talking about is the one from a YouTuber named Synthetic Man, and yeah, I'm just gonna put it straight. He's a fucking idiot. I mean, it's like he didn't even play the last game. He's assuming shit about Kratos that is not true, and he would know that all that's true if he just played the last game, which he clearly didn't. He mentions like the level design and how generic it is, which I can kind of agree with him. It isn't the most unique stuff, but like, who cares? Like, it's not that deep. Like, there's way better things to enjoy about the game, but he chooses to not mention them, and he just rips on the bad stuff, which is, it's just retarded.
Yeah, that no, didn't really watch the video. 1 hour. There are some guest
Yeah,
episodes that are 1 hour long, that that is because it's fun to go on for a bit longer with guests, I guess. But yeah, that's just don't really know what. Yeah, just don't know what to say there. Really, just doesn't really help that whole thing. But yeah, I guess I don't really need to say anything about it because it's like it's kind of an unnecessary thing, just a little thing I came up and thought of while we were talking about God of War Ragnarok and stuff like that.
yeah, pretty much. It's just, it's unnecessary. It's stupid. I don't even want to talk about the dude.
Yeah, honestly, the only way I'd consume watching God of War Ragnarok's probably like Jacksepticeye playing it or something, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to play God of War Ragnarok. I mean, it is a good game, and I would recommend you play it. But honestly, if you don't got a PlayStation, that's fair enough. I mean, the PlayStation 5 is like what, $1,000. I mean, I'd say if you really don't want to play it, but you want to look at the story, just go on YouTube and watch like a long gameplay of it.
I mean, his gameplays are like 2 hours or something, but I don't.
Yeah, 2 hours.
I would have watched it, but the thing is, right, I've got all these other channels that I watch, and I've got my own channel and stuff, so it's kind of hard to do that, because yeah, hard to
It's fair
just.
enough.
It's kind of hard just to say, oh, I'm gonna watch 2 hours of this guy playing a video game. You can't just say that. You have to, dedicate time. 2 hours is a long time.
You have to get into the mood. Yeah, you have to dedicate like 2 hours, which is a pretty long time.
And yeah, like you said, like the PS5 is a bit expensive. Like you'd honestly need to get a job or something to even buy that game. If I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, unless you're like extremely spoiled by your parents, you're gonna need to start putting in some hours in a job to really get a PS5, man.
Oh
Like they go
yeah,
for 900 to $1,000. It's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
you're still working at the warehouse, aren't you? Since I think it's still we started off the last episode. We actually talked about how you work at the warehouse, but it was a bit weird. It was a bit of a weird start, to be honest. I don't know.
Work at the warehouse. It was a weird start, but yeah, I still work there. And then, matter of fact, I'm approaching my first year mark at the warehouse.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it was your birthday recently, so like you never actually worked at the warehouse on your birthday, so
Nah, fuck that, bro.
yeah, as you have this whole thing about the wage slave or something like that. Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of just like a little joke I enjoy of like waging and getting wage cuts. It's a bit of a weird joke, and not many people understand it. But somehow I've managed to spread it to my friends on Discord in real life, and
yeah,
a normal person would say, "I'm going to work," while my
and
friends and even James would say, "I'm going to go wage." It's kind of weird.
well, you do get well. The thing is, you do get wages from that job, like that. That your wages is like your salary. So like that's the money
Yeah,
that's the money you earn from doing from doing the shift. So
yeah.
so it does make sense. But the thing I think that was like a meme you found about the wage a thing or whatever. Some Sojak or something I can't remember what it's called. What was it called? Wojak, something like that. Wojak.
Wojak, yeah, Wojak animations. I mean, I do like them. They have a good story and they have a good message behind it.
Yeah, but honestly, it seems like a lot of retail kind of does seem like wage slavery though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of retailers, but like in my particular case, I got a really good retail position. Like I kind of got lucky that I don't have a, or they don't over push my hours.
Yeah, it's not like you're working in a Chinese sweatshop or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I'm fucking making Nike Air Forces for a dime a day.
Yeah, I mean the pay rate in China is probably really bad. Like putting all these workers
I don't
under
even
pressure.
think.
Like you
Yeah,
probably
okay.
$3 in a free is it 3 yen an hour? However the currency is in China.
Yeah, yeah, and something like that.
Yeah, 3 yen an hour. Like imagine that getting paid 3 yen an hour.
I think there are like I'm pretty sure in China there is child labor, but I'm not sure, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
take that as
I
fact.
would look that up, but I don't try and fact check myself to be honest. Or,
Yeah, I don't even want to mention China. It's kind of a risky move.
yeah, I think I did that ages ago, but yeah, I was talking about COVID and stuff, but
Yeah.
China. So China. All right, we've already talked about China. I don't know. What else? Anything else you want to talk
I
about?
thought
Yeah.
it's kind of weird how we started. We started at like music, and then we started talking about China and like sweatshops.
Well, it is just a natural flow of conversation, so
Yeah, and it's a James Rambling show after all. It gets pretty random up in here.
yeah, don't expect any deep titles. Titles aren't really.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, while we were recording, right, I literally found this fly and it went and touch it. It just hit my eye there. It's like kind of, and it's just sitting on my desk at the moment. But yeah,
Wait, could you say that again?
like there's like a fly that flew into my eye, and then I put it onto my desk so it didn't, so I could put it back away. So
Flew into your eye.
no,
Shit.
I like flew it near me, and then it's probably because I had one of my windows open or something. That kind of happens, when you have your window open for a little bit. There can be some flies, especially in the summer.
Oh yeah, it's summer. I mean, at night time, you're gonna want to close your window, mate. I mean, mosquitoes will come in and bite your ass.
I mean, the thing is, I try to shut my the window that isn't like the behind the curtains that you'll see over there, like the the window. I keep that shut, but then I have a window like over. Well, you can't see it, but it's like it's like a smaller one. So I try to keep that one open instead of the other one, because it's like higher up and it's harder for them to get in. So.
Oh, you gotta keep one open for fresh air. I mean, it gets pretty hot.
Yeah, fresh air as well. Fresh air as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say, or?
No, I think that's a pretty good conclusion to this episode.
Yeah, we managed to get you back on after a while because there was just a lot of. There's like a few guests that we wanted to bring on the show, and then when it comes back to it being almost a year of it, why don't we bring back the original casting crew? And it so happens to be that Phoenix was the second guest on the show. So I guess that as well. We're gonna leave it. This will probably be a bit a short, like one of the shorter guest episodes we've had in a while, because there's guests that have wanted to do it for a bit longer. They want to talk a bit more about, So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I reckon to ease back in, make it a bit of a shorter episode,
Yeah. Alright, so hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll see you next week, and then hopefully we'll get another guest on the show that I've actually been planning for a while. I will say he's been on the show before, but you'll find out what that is. That will be very special. It'll be very special after a very special episode. So yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye. That was a good conversation.